Speed bump! Speed bump! You bitch. What's going on, everybody? Chip Hard Body here. Headed back home after meeting up with the wife for lunch and coffee. Something we like to do on occasion. I've talked about it before, about how it's important in a relationship, I believe, to make sure that you go on dates and stuff even after you've been married for a long time. You know, it's important. The guy was loving it. He was digging it. I couldn't do the fucking rev bar. I couldn't find the clutch because my hands are freezing. It is 0 degrees without wind chill being factored into it. It's fucking cold. And anyway, that's not what I'm vlogging about. But yeah, it's important to go on dates and all that. But that, again, is not what I'm here to actually talk about. My last vlog was very... Oh, hey, we got a dual sport. Nice. Very cool. Nice to see some other people out here being batshit insane. Yeah, anyway. My last vlog was a little heavy. Let's see if he notices. And so I'm gonna do something a little different. It has been noted by many a person in my life that shit doesn't really seem to bother me. Like, and obviously, you know, there are things that get to me that I find annoying or that I would like to change or whatever. But on the whole, for the most part, things don't really bother me all that much. I don't get pissed off by the things that most people do. I don't get up in arms about petty shit for the most part. You know, I'm generally a very happy person. Excuse me. I try to look on the bright side whenever I can. And this confuses people. It's kind of funny. And people are always asking me, you know, how do you do it? Like my wife especially, she is always stressing about something, always worried about something. She's doing a lot better with it now, but like that's just her personality. That's just that's part of who she is. It's not really, I don't think, something that she can completely change. You know, it's just it's a part of her. And not that I would want her to change it, because her worrying has actually gotten us out of a few scrapes. But I don't worry. I very seldom allow myself to dwell on things, and that's actually the key right there, is that word. And I'll get into that. Shade Tree Surgeon and I had a conversation a little while back regarding stress and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, I mentioned that, and he agreed that a lot of your stress level and the problems in your life come from how you choose to look at things. And I will always choose to look on the lighter side, on the brighter side, and try to see the good in every situation. And the reason for that is because when I was about 14, I was diagnosed with esophageal ulcers at 14. And it was because I was always stressing. I was stressing about things so badly that it was causing ulcers, or acid, to build up in my stomach and go back into my esophagus, and it was wearing away the skin of my esophagus. And so these ulcers had broken open and they were bleeding, and I lost about 1/3 of the blood in my body. Had to be given 3 blood transfusions, and I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks at that point. It was not good. So at that point, you know, the doc was like, you need to reduce the stress in your life. And I was like, you know, I'm 14. You know, I got stressors, but shit. So I resolved right then and there that from then on, yeah, I was going to approach life in a different way. Instead of getting angry all the time, because I had a hot temper back then. Oh man, the smallest thing would fucking set me off. So instead of getting pissed off about stuff and constantly bitching and moaning and bottling things up that I, you know, instead of doing all that, I was just gonna let it go. You know, you have one of two choices. You can, if you choose not to bottle up your emotions, you can do one of two things. You can constantly explode, which is not good for anybody, or you can let it go. And I swear to God, you know what? And you can choose to let it go. And I chose, I resolved that it was easier to just let stuff roll off my back and to not stress myself out over meaningless, inconsequential shit that in the long run doesn't have any bearing on my existence. And so far, and it's been, what, 13 years later, that's worked out beautifully. You know, I'm a lot happier, a lot healthier, haven't had any problems with my acid reflux, other than one very scary bout, but that was brought on by some other things that I was too dumb to stop doing at the time. I've since knocked that shit off, but for the most part, I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I still, you know, have to actively struggle at times to find the bright side and to see things in a positive way. But it's something that you have to practice. It really is. And this is something that I've tried to tell my wife. You know, I didn't acquire the skill, and it is a skill. It's not something that you're just born with, I don't think. Yeah, I've had to practice at it, and I wasn't always very good at it. You know, there were times where I still very much felt my old self in situations, and where, you know, I flew off the handle a little, or I bottled something up that I should have talked about. But it's all a learning process, and it's always, you know, if something happens, then you recognize it and you learn from it. Recognize it and learn from it. Those are the two most important things. And I think that the first one is one that people struggle with the most. I don't think people struggle so much with learning from their mistakes. I think they struggle more with recognizing that they made one in the first place. So it's a skill, and it's one that it took me a long time to develop, and I'm completely, you know, not perfected it at all. I don't claim to be some kind of fucking Zen master or whatever, but I do feel that it's a valuable way of approaching life and approaching situations, because at the end of the day, if you hold grudges and you're constantly getting pissed off and you're constantly worrying and constantly letting things get to you, in the end, who are you hurting? It actually negatively impacts you directly.